Hello, everybody, and welcome to Weeyum 2D Gaming. I'm your host, Weeyum, and as always, with me today, Weeyfer, or Jack for short, and we're bringing you episode 17 of Dark Souls Remastered.
I thought you said it was 60.
It is 17. I knew it was 17. I was messing with you.
Really?
You can say hi. Anyway, last episode, we beat Artorias, and now this person showed up.
It was a very long and stressful battle.
I don't even know who this person is, but yeah, we'll give you the soul.
Thank you. Please take this.
I'll take it.
May the Lord guide.
I honestly don't know who this person is. But that's okay. So, I think this episode we're going to find something. I don't really know a whole lot about the DLC, so.
We're gonna end up spending as many parts in DLC as we did the whole game, just because you're exploring.
I don't know if this is like PvP. I don't. Well, it must be an online PvP thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot of messages in here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This has to be PvP. There's teams, duels. Okay, I didn't know this was a thing.
Wow, you missed out so much.
I didn't miss out on anything. I mean, I don't really do PvP, to be honest, so. I would ask you if you want to guess who's up here, but you wouldn't know.
Not at all, unless it's Spot.
We first of all, his name is Patches. Second of all, we killed him mercilessly.
First of all, I know his name. And it's Spot.
I need a key. That's awkward. That's super awkward. I don't know where to get that key from. Well, we are gonna die though.
With 50,000 souls.
Should we just start over at the beginning?
No, this is staying in.
This is staying in?
You go back, you pick up your souls.
It's a horrible beginning to an episode.
I told you, maybe we shouldn't do the DLC since you're not as familiar with it. And, you're like, nah, this is Dark Souls. This is my jam. And, clearly, your jam is just dying over and over and over again. So maybe Dark Souls is your jam.
Would this be a good episode to talk about some lore for real for once?
I know all I need to know.
I don't think you know anything because you ask me about the lore all the time.
Yeah, and you don't give me any answers, so I have to come up with my own lore.
And to be honest, it's not awful lore, but it's also not great.
My lore?
You're saying your lore is better than the game's lore?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about basic lore?
Go ahead.
You're being so rude again.
I'm not being rude. Tell me the lore of Dark Souls while you go pick up 50,000 souls you just threw on the floor.
Maybe I won't pick them up. Maybe I don't need those 50,000 souls. Who are you? Who are you to tell me what I need?
After that last fight, you need every soul you can get because you are not strong enough.
That honestly hurts.
You know what hurts? Watching that over and over again.
Watching me play over and over and over again.
No, you play fine. You losing is what gets me.
Alright. So, basic lore. I know we had the beginning cutscene. Which you didn't pay attention.
I was on my phone the whole time.
So, the game starts at the the game doesn't start. The lore starts at the Age of Ancients. And there's nothing alive in the Age of Ancients but dragons. That's all that exists. Dragons, and they can't die. They're immortal. And there's not really... No.
Is that, like, they can't die due to age, but they can kill each other? Or, like, they can't even kill each other?
There's no concept of life or death at this moment in time.
Okay.
So, there's not really a landscape. Like, there is kind of like this upper world, but it's all covered by fog. So, it's the Age of Ancients. There's really nothing but dragons and fog. And then, boom, all of a sudden, the first flame just kind of comes into existence. Just exists. And
like the Big Bang.
Actually, yeah, like the Big Bang. And this starts to attract humanoid creatures. I'm not really sure where the humanoids come from.
Like giants?
Yeah, you could say something like giants. Also, I have no idea where we're going, so this should be fun.
Okay, how many more souls do you have for another level? Because you picked up like souls of heroes and stuff.
Did I? It'll be enough. It's like 10,000 right there, right? Yeah. It might be enough.
Because you need more endurance with your rolling.
I need more endurance to equip my other part of the armor I want so bad.
Yeah. Or was that strength you needed to equip it?
No.
No, it was because of weight, yeah.
Endurance is for weight.
Yeah.
So anyway, it brings three humanoid people to the fire. And those three people enter the fire. And basically they each take a part of it and turn themselves into gods. It's just
They turn themselves from the gods or turn themselves into gods?
they basically become gods due to the power they gain from the fire.
By eating it?
Perfect. I don't know. I assume they put it in themselves? I mean, can you really eat fire?
That's why I was confused.
That was really rude. So, those three people are Gwyn, Lord Gwyn, who we are destined to kill at the end of this game. The Witch of Izalith. And Nito. Basically Grave Lord Nito, but before he was, dead in a Grave Lord.
Okay.
And each of those people take a part of the soul, or part of the fire, and mix it with their soul. And this is a shortcut elevator for later, so that's nice. Can we fall down here? Hold on a second. Oh, there's no place. Oh, wait. Like I said, this is all new to me. So they all take a part of it, and Gwyn turns his soul into the Lord Soul of Light. Nito turns his into the Soul of Death, and the Witch of Izalith makes hers the Soul of Fire. Hold on. So then, with their new powers... Ow. You're an annoying enemy. So with their powers, they wage war on the dragons. Because now they're super strong, and they want to, live above ground. Because all of this at the time is below ground.
Below ground? Like, not on the surface?
Yeah. And the First Flame might be on the surface at this time, but until then, none of these people, they're all underground. So they wage war on the dragons, because they want to live above ground, or control above ground. And they can't kill the dragons. The dragons are still technically immortal, and nobody knows how to defeat them. Which is when our boy, Seath the Scaleless, comes around. Get the term Seath the Scaleless, he has no scales.
Correct. And
Seath the Scaleless tells these three, Gwyn, the Witch, and Nito, of the weakness for the dragons, which turns out to be lightning. So Gwyn develops lightning bolts. This sounds like an anime. Gwyn develops lightning bolts, which he hits the dragons with, thus breaking their scales. And then Nito uses the power of death to basically make a plague against the dragons that kills them. And they have nowhere to retreat because the Witch of Izalith burns them, burns all their homes and everything to the ground. So that is a creepy laugh.
Yeah.
That really threw me off. There's no point even blocking, so. So basically, at that point, all the dragons are dead, except for some of the weaker ones that don't matter. And
those are the ones you've been facing?
Well, like the red dragon and like wyverns and stuff we saw down in that area before Playtown, the Valley of the Drakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're weak dragons. When we meet Calamite, it's a different story. He's a big buff dragon, super dude.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this person right here? Were they supposed to fall on my head? So anyway, all the dragons are basically dead, other than the weak ones and Seath. Seath giving up his information was basically given that grand library we saw as like a hey thanks bro. Seath.
At least they kind of honored him instead of killing him. That's usually how them stories go.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, hey, it was sweet you betrayed your kind. We're gonna kill you now.
And so all the dragons are dead. And basically, we have the dark sign. But that's because I believe all humans are born with the dark sign. And part of that reason is, I have to get this name right, the furtive pygmy? I think that's what it's called. I did write it down because, not great at lore or pronouncing things. He finds the dark sign. Not sure how he finds it, but he does. Or it, he, she, it does. Finds it. And that's how humans are now born. Humans are now born because of the dark sign. He takes.
So they're all part of the dark sign?
Yeah, pretty much. And,
So Gwen is not human?
No. Gwen
and he was never human?
Pretty much. He's just a humanoid, and he could be a giant. I'm not 100% sure, but no, Gwen himself was technically never human, at least that I know of. I assume that's why they call them humanoids. I mean, they're humanoid-like creatures, but they're not humans, because humans aren't born until the pygmy takes the dark sign and makes them.
Mm-hmm.
I hear so many sounds, and it terrifies the living crap out of me. So... it's gonna be annoying. Give me a sec, we'll get back to the lore in a second. And remind you, this is all before we're born. This takes place all before we even do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm just gonna tank it. You like that dodge?
I was just happy you didn't walk off the edge.
I wish I knew I was going. Never mind walking off the edge. Oh, that one has red eyes. I don't like it. That one scares me. This one has to be put down special. Let's see. Dragons, war. So that brings us to the Age of Fire, which is kind of what we're in now. So for, a while, they all go their respective ways. And Orlando is made by Gwyn. We've been there. Basically a place where humans live, and he has his 4 Grand Knights, which are Artorias. Oh, actually, you asked me that in the previous episode. Artorias is a Knight of Gwyn.
Yeah.
Glad we could sort that out, while somebody in the comments is probably, you idiot! Don't you know anything about your favorite game of all time? The answer is no. No, I don't.
We had this little discussion, by the way. Because I'm
What in the world is this? Why is this a thing?
The witch is laughing?
No, why is there so many?
Oh, I don't know.
And I can't jump off the edge on them either.
But we were discussing this, how Resident Evil is one of my all-time favorite video games. Video games as
Oh no! Oh no!
a whole. And I was like, I could tell you a lot more about Resident Evil than you could tell me about Dark Souls.
It's true.
It's just because, I don't know, our favorites for stuff is for different reasons, but I'm bigger into learning the lore and backgrounds of games. Silent Hill is another one that I there's a lot more to it that's underneath the underneath the skin, and you're I'm just gonna accept it as what I see.
I mean, a lot of the Dark Souls lore has to be pieced together.
Mm-hmm.
Especially by every item having their own little hint at lore and all that type of stuff, and every boss soul and every boss weapon and.
Well, that's why I always thought it was interesting, and that's why I always had all these questions, and you're I don't have any of these answers. I'm you never thought to seek out the answers.
No.
I didn't play every Resident Evil game, but I did look up stuff when I had questions.
The biggest problem I have is I looked up the lore 10 years ago when the game was out, and you kind of forget stuff like that over time. I mean, maybe you didn't, but I do. I mean, I just play so many games, I tend to forget.
Yeah, I don't play a lot of games. Or a lot of games with depth, I should say.
Yeah, Resident Evil has a lot of depth.
No, but I mean Minecraft.
Oh, yeah. Well, Minecraft has lore. It's just not great lore.
It's more of you kind of have to make it up as you go along with Minecraft.
I get on this.
Whereas Resident Evil is kind of more straightforward, they tell you.
But where were we? So
I can't
that was
believe,
a mimic. I should
I
have hit
can't
it.
believe you didn't hit it.
I was too busy listening to you.
Don't blame me. I didn't tell you to open it.
Really? He doesn't get up after doing that? That was your first mistake, buddy?
I think you made the first mistake.
Of almost running out of flasks at this point. Yeah, I know. We're not gonna make it to any. Hey, the crest key. I wonder if that opens up the area to the boys. So as I was saying, the 4 knights. So Artorias, who gets sent here to take care of Manus in the Abyss. And as you can see, he kind of gets corrupted by the Abyss, saves Sif, and dies. Well, doesn't die, but gets corrupted. Man, I have nowhere to go. You have Ornstein and Smaug, who run his army.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, I want to say his name is Glog or Glog, who we are actually going to find. He's in this DLC. We actually really need to find him. I should have just went down that ladder. I don't know where that ladder is. And those are basically his 4 top knights. So there's that. You get Nito, who goes to the catacombs. You know, basically, as you can see, is his Grave Lord Nito. And then you get the Witch of Izalith, who basically just goes back to Izalith and studies fire. Very much into fire. Which is, as you can guess, as some lore, that's how we get the... I know, I could have just held. Alright, calm down. Okay. Basically how we get pyromancy. I'm sure there's some story in there. We have 1 flask left to go all this way. We're so gonna die.
Kind of surprised you haven't found a bonfire.
Oh, that couldn't work out any better. Yeah, a pyromancy spell we're not gonna use. So anyway, you know, this goes on for probably a couple 100 years at least. And that's when the first flame starts to, like, dwindle and go out. And so people start panicking, the lords here. Because they're, you know, they got their powers from the flame. What happens if the flame goes out? Mm-hmm. We as the player know that if the flame goes out, we get infinite darkness back. So pretty much infinite abyss. And obviously the lords don't want that. Even though they're gods now. But the lords don't want this. I'm going to rest at the bonfire. Do I want to rest? Yeah, absolutely want to rest.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to go test that key real quick if you don't mind.
I want you to rest first.
I'm gonna rest. So anyway, the Witch of Izalith basically tries to recreate the first flame. Gets consumed by it. In the process, she makes the Chaos Flame. Now you know, like, the Daughters of Chaos. That's kind of how they're born. Like, she has daughters. She has Quelaag and Quelaena.
Oh, Quelaag's her daughter?
Yeah, and so is Quelaena? Cool. But yeah, whatever.
That's the Firekeeper one, right?
Yes. And then she has a son, but we'll get to that in a
So is she a Spider Lady too?
No, she's technically just a humanoid person. I'm going to get to that. So she sacrifices herself trying to recreate it. Please be the key. Oh, thank God. And she gets consumed by the Chaos Fire and turns into the Bed of Chaos. This is our boy. Let's see. Hold on. We'll get back to the lore. Don't worry. He sells the carvings. We're gonna buy them. Don't care about anything else. So the reason we need him is he shoots down Calamite. But he's supposed to give us the option to. Maybe I have to meet him at another place first. Yeah, maybe we have to go meet Calamite again somewhere else before we can get him to shoot down. That's the only way to get to the boss for Calamite. He has to be shot by his arrow. And by the way, he's blind through his helmet. I know we didn't look at him. We'll look at him again later when we come back. But he can't see either. A lot of blind people in this universe.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Chaos Flame is made from her body. She becomes the Bed of Flame. And basically the Chaos Flame and her, you know, transforming into like this demon tree thing causes the flame to basically explode. And that's why all the demons are made. So basically think of it, not really like a zombie apocalypse or anything, but she explodes and all all the demons are made because of that. And Quelaena and Quelaag turn to spiders because their bottom halves got turned into spider demons, but they were still able to get away before they were fully turned.
Oh.
Now, her son, who, as far as I know, doesn't have a name. Well, it doesn't have a name I can think of. We didn't get any flasks, which is
You
real.
got 5.
Yeah, I think we got 15 because we did it for Artorias.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, her son gets corrupted into the ceaseless discharge.
Oh, he's the ceaseless discharge.
Yep. And basically, Izalith being a place for humans underground, all those, like, little... I don't know what you would even call those things. The worshiper people. They're demons, too, don't get me wrong. I just don't know what you would call them.
Are you talking about, like, the guys with the XX?
Yeah. They're all corrupted into, like, demon-type stuff, too.
Oh, so they're demons? I
I
figured they were
believe
just
they're
kind of like...
Now, I could be wrong on that part, but I believe they're demons.
I see, like, seeing them, I thought they were humans who, because of them being, you know, so engrossed in the Covenant, because they're part of the Covenant, that they, like, just something that they did as part of the Covenant was, like, allow themselves to be used as hosts for those eggs.
What was that sound? I mean, it could possibly be the... I'm not 100% sure about any of that, like, those people's part. So anyway, that happens. Neo doesn't really do anything. Neo's kind of just like, nah, I live underground anyway in darkness, who cares? He's a great guy. So Gwyn actually goes to war with Izalith, trying to take out the demons. Fails. And basically decides that somebody has to kindle the flame. So Gwyn uses his own soul to kindle the flame, basically killing him.
Right.
And that's kind of where we pick up. I'm not 100% sure on the timeline, but I think it's 1,000 years every time someone kindles the flame, like around there, before the flame starts to weaken and go out. And if it goes out, it would cause the Age of Darkness. So somewhere around, it's probably been like 998 years or something stupid for this timeline. And then that's where we come in. The problem is they couldn't find anybody who was willing to give up their soul to kindle the flame again. And because humans have the dark soul, that lets them revive. Actually, we should get into that real quick. So basically, because Gwyn rekindles the flame, the dark soul being imprinted on all the humans lets them revive. Not sure how that comes in, but humans get immortality basically after that happens, after Gwyn rekindles.
Right.
And they didn't have immortality before that, so they were allowed to die. So yeah, don't know what causes it with the flame, but after that, humans get immortality, and every time they die, wow, that hurt. Oh, then. Yeah, every time they die, they basically turn undead. And if they keep dying, like, as undeads, they basically just go insane, and eventually you get, you know, like Oscar in the beginning and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
is that what happened to the societies then? Is that because humans no longer died, they just became insane, and because like we haven't seen like a functioning town or anything in this.
I mean, yeah, pretty much these humans kept dying and coming back to life, and over time they just lost all their humanity. Kind of get the whole like human part. And that's kind of how we stave something along those lines off us turning insane. Is lore-wise, every time you offer humanity, it kind of brings you back to who you were.
Right.
As you can see when we offer it and we turn human fully. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. That kind of
Pick up your soap.
that shit hurt.
Yeah, it did. So those balls just seem to be one-shots.
Well, they too hit me. But yeah. This is going to be interesting. I'd like to make it into the next area, because the next area should be the cave with Manus. I know, we're not going to get to a boss this episode for sure, but this will be the lore episode. And every series needs a lore episode, right? So anyway, though, all that happens, and it basically brings us to our timeline, where we are born as the chosen undead. And so it's our job to basically collect all the souls from like the people we've been killing, the bosses, the great souls, and basically make ourselves as strong as possible, and then beat Gwyn and rekindle the fire for another 1,000 years when our life is sacrificed. Or this game has a second ending where we say, screw that, I hate all of you, And we just let the Age of Darkness happen. Age of Darkness is not canon.
So does Dark Souls 2 pick up another 1,000 years later?
Kinda. I'm not 100% on the Dark Souls 2 lore, but it definitely involves the Dark Souls 1.
Later, losers.
I mean, I'm going back down. I just want to, heal up. They hurt real bad. I'm not excited for Manus if this is how much damage the basic enemies do. I mean, I guess I could just ram past these guys. We need to just kill this one no matter how much damage we take. Are you serious?
Yeah, so you need to kill that one no matter how much damage you take.
Pretty sure just shotgun this. Because I think it did the move where it throws all like 6 out. This is absurd. Remind me why I wanted to do the DLC so badly.
You said you wanted to fight all the bosses.
Well, you want to talk about? We can talk about a little bit more lore for the end of this episode. So, technically, Gwyn's son Guinevere, which we talked about before, is raised as a girl because he has the power of the moon.
Mm-hmm. Which is seen as feminine.
Yeah, which is seen as feminine in Dark Souls. So he and someone else basically makes the Undead Asylum. And basically, it's hard to tell lore-wise 100%, but as they have a gatekeeper there, the Asylum Demon. So basically, the rule of thumb is he who defeats the Asylum Demon is the chosen undead. It's
so basically what I said.
Yes.
Basically, oh my goodness, I hate you so much.
That's rude.
I told you, I think you're the chosen undead because you're the one who defeated the demon, and you're like, no, that's not it.
I'm really not sure what to do here.
That was just like a poison sphere.
Okay, that part's over. How much worse does this get?
So much worse.
I know, we just walking inside. I've, like I said, never played DLC. I have no idea what's going on. I think these things are pain. I remember that these are actually appear in number 2 or 3 as well.
I don't understand what they are.
I don't want to show you. I just want to move on. I'd like to find a bonfire, then we can look at stupid stuff.
But I knew it. I was like, oh,
He's gonna come around the corner. I'm gonna die. Oh, this is awkward. I mean, yeah. I mean, basically, like I said, it's hard to tell. Is the demon put there because of the chosen undead? Like, it doesn't 100% say how you're chosen, but for the most part, I would assume.
No, you became the chosen one because there's gonna be a prophecy. There's gonna be all this talk of the one who can do this is the chosen one.
Yeah.
You're the chosen one because you were the one who did it. If it were Oscar who did it, he would have been the chosen one. But it was you who did it,
but
so you're the chosen one.
Kind of begs the question: is Oscar helps us escape? But how would Oscar know we're the chosen one?
He didn't know you were the chosen one.
All right, let me show you the demon because we're almost at the end of this lore episode. They kind of have posts on them and chains, they're boat people almost, tied to them.
Yeah.
So you can see. I'm trying not to aggro it. So they're a demon, but they're weird. Look at it, it's super weird. Now, how much damage and health do they have? They have a lot of health.
Because that was a backstab.
Well, it wasn't a backstab, but it was a heavy hit. Alright, was it even worth killing him in the first place? Absolutely not. What do you drop? Chain armor. Useless. What happened? Does that red guy not respawn? He came up here. Oh, I'm so glad we made progress this video. So actually, we're in the area for Manus. So Calamy will probably be our last boss. But yeah, I mean we caught up on the lore, so that's a good thing. Having a lore episode isn't a bad thing.
It's just kind of sad you had to do so much research for it.
I mean, I did have to do some research. It's not even like I don't remember it. Like when I was reading it, everything was like, "Oh, I ring a bell," but it's just over time you lose a lot of the information. And that's not fair. You look up stuff on your favorite game like every other day.
That's not true.
Yeah, you're always reading stuff about Resident Evil in general.
That's not true.
Okay.
I still want to see the movie that came out with there's a movie and then there's supposed to be a movie or TV series for Netflix.
Oh, well, I mean, we'll watch it sooner or later.
I'll watch it. You don't watch stuff. You just pout because you're not playing video game.
That's true. You ready for another dark area that I have never been in?
Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna be co-hosting the next part.
No, this one's exciting. You get to see the new enemy type. They only show up in this area, and I love them. But anyway, we'll end with this great scenery here.
Yeah, this is what I'm gonna use for the
The thumbnail.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a little picture of the blackness.
Would you like this for a thumbnail instead?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for watching episode 17 of Dark Souls Remastered, the lore episode. And stay tuned for 18, where we may or may not actually get the Manus. Probably not. I'm bad, but we'll see. Haha. Bye.
Bye.